What is going on, bottom line viewers? It is Mitch here, joined by the one, the only, Dilly Vanilli. Week number 16, NFL picks and predictions. We're here to preview every single game in week number 16, give you our in-depth picks and thoughts and analysis on this NFL week. And Dilly Vanilli, we have a new leader at the top of the leaderboard. Could you please, Dilly Vanilli, fill the viewers in on who is number one?
This guy's so excited over here because he finally has a lead in picks. So Mitch went 10-6. I went 9-7, and Kev went 9-7. We only differed on one game last week. That was the deciding factor of who was going to lead after this week. It was the Bills and the Lions. The Bills had to win 14-13. Thank you, Matthew Stafford. So now the current standings are Mitch at 140, 82-2, myself 139, 83-2, and Kevole in last place 134, 88-2. Going to be very hard for him to come back, but I think it's a one-man race. There's one game difference with 2 weeks to go, and a lot of question marks. A lot of games are like, I don't know if this is going to work or if this is going to happen. I think we're going to differ a little bit more this time, so I'm hoping to get back on top. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. This is another challenging week. It's kind of weird for me because usually I find like the end of the season to be sort of easy at picking games, but this year has been almost the exact opposite. I feel like we were hitting our stride around like week 12-ish, and then we kind of went back down to like earth, and we're kind of back on earth after having a rough start to the season, but we're not doing too bad. Kevol's not here today. He's got to work. He's got to do big boy things in the world. We're just here to talk about football, and I hope you guys can join us in the comments section. Let us know what you guys think about this week, any of the games that are your favorite that you're looking forward to, anything revolving around your team or your fantasy team. Let us know in the comment section, and we'll answer your questions and get back to you. Dilly Vanilli, let's start it off. We do not have a Thursday nighter. I'm correct on that, right?
You're correct. We start with Saturday football.
Yes, we start with Saturday football. We have two games on Saturday, just like last week. Redskins at the Tennessee Titans. And the Washington Redskins. Sorry?
I said, who decided that was going to be the Saturday game?
I don't know. Like, even before the season, I feel like why would you even, why would you even think this is a good game? Like, even before the season, okay, Alex Smith Redskins versus the Marcus Mariota Titans doesn't sound super sexy to me, and that's the same as we have right now. Not a super sexy matchup, Dilly Vanilli. Let me know who you're going with right now.
I'm not a big fan of either team, but I'm going to go with the Titans in this one. I watched the Redskins perform last week. They had a heartfelt victory, first win for Josh Johnson. He really tried. He got that one. He played decently well. But the thing is that I guess the Redskins were. They're still fighting for playoff contention, but the Titans really, really need this victory because the next week they play the Colts, which could be huge playoff implications. And I think they're just going to make one or two more plays down the stretch. I think it'll be a close game just because of how I think these two teams mesh together. But overall, I think Derrick Henry's going to get it done. Mitch, he didn't even throw for 100 yards last week. He had 80 yards passing last week.
Bro, that's classic.
How is that even physically possible in the NFL if you start a whole 60 minutes of football? It's insane. And I get it.
He's the best at it, in my opinion.
It's insane. I know Derrick Henry ran for over 100 yards again. He's a beast. He's got to be in contention for fantasy.
You know what happened is they played the Giants, and I don't know if you know the quarterback on the Giants, but he's really bad. So basically, he gave the ball to the Titans at the 20-yard line like 3 times, and then Derrick Henry ran the ball in.
I don't know about that quarterback. Maybe he's a Manning. I don't know. It's just it's not a very appetizing game. I think the Saturday night game is going to be a whole lot better. But in terms of picks, I'm going Titans.
I think the winner of this game will win the battle in the trenches. And over the last couple of weeks, we've seen that the Titans can run the ball, and we've seen that the Redskins cannot. And as the Redskins were really good against the run earlier in the season, that is diminished as well. So I think the Titans will be able to run the ball and have success with that. And Derrick Henry and what they've been doing there, he just seems to be a guy that I think I don't know. I guess we need to start giving him a little bit more credit for what he's done over the last couple of weeks. I just think maybe he is one of those guys where the sort of like a LeGarrette Blount type, where if the temperature gets cold, it's tough to stop him, because defenses don't want to deal with a guy that big and stopping and tackling that sort of running back. So yeah, the Titans are well on their way to putting themselves right in a spot for the playoffs. They got to hope for a couple other things. If they win this game and then they win next week and the Ravens lose, they get in. So that's the Titans' path, and they need to get this win. They need it more than the Redskins, even though the Redskins are technically still in it. I don't think they're mentally still in it. I don't think they think they're going to make it, even though they're still in it. But yeah, give the boy Josh Johnson a round of applause, right? So this guy, honestly, Dilly, like, he has taken himself from playing in a non-NFL league to playing in the NFL. Like, he's gonna have a job in the NFL next year.
Yeah, I think he will. I don't know where, but he'll get a chance.
So we're both going with the Titans.
The Titans.
Okay. The night game is, in my opinion, Dylan, one of the most exciting games of the past the next 3 weeks, or the next 2 weeks. So we have, because this is a huge game for playoffs, everything, seeding. If the Ravens can make the playoffs, period, if the Chargers can make that jump to the first seed, get a bye, this is a crucial game for both teams. I want to hear where you're going with this pick. We both love the Chargers. We've kind of grown for appreciation. I've always had an appreciation for the Ravens, but I think we've grown an appreciation for the Ravens with Lamar Jackson under center. So who do you have?
First off, we have a hot take hockey in our chat. I don't really know what's going on. There's like so many comments from a whole bunch of different guys from that channel. And Bodo just sent us $10 for it. So thank you. I don't understand it, but I'll take it. So yeah, this is a really interesting game. This is one I'm going to be looking forward to. I might work on Saturday, so I don't really know, but I'm hoping to watch this game. I've grown to like what the Ravens have accomplished with Lamar Jackson. He's been one of the more thrilling quarterbacks coming this draft. I really like what he's been able to do. He's made the plays necessary to win good football games. And he's 4-1 since starting. The only loss came to the Chiefs, and that was in overtime. It was a very close game. The Chargers are 17-4 since week 11 of 2017. They've been doing a pretty good job at winning football games, if I do say so myself. And that includes big-time injuries that you think, oh, it's going to hurt their season, or, it's going to take down the positives or the power of the Chargers, but they were still able to find ways to win, including their most impressive win last week, when they were down 28-14, 5 minutes left against the Chiefs. They're top, their team in their division has been leading all season. They come and make 2 great drives. I know the Chiefs' defense is incredibly shit. See the 2-point conversion as an example. But you still have to have the heart enough to get it done. And with that said, I'm going to pick the Chargers in this game. I like what the Ravens are doing, and I hope they make the playoffs. I'll talk about that tomorrow in my video, but I hope they make the playoffs. That being said, though, I think the Chargers are just a little too strong, and I think they're going to come out there. Philip Rivers is going to be throwing all across the field and making the plays necessary to win the football game. I know the Ravens' defense is good, but I'm going Chargers.
Okay, Dylan, we talked about bad matchups for teams in the playoffs. This is one of them. I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to beat the LA Chargers in a must-win game. I think this is a bad matchup for the Chargers. Now, let me tell you why it's a bad matchup. The number one reason why it's a bad matchup. Dylan, I'll let you guess how many linebackers the Chargers play on a given down.
On a given down, how many linebackers do they have?
Yeah, like on an average down, how many linebackers do they put on the field?
3.
One.
1.
This is a huge reason why I am going with the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Baltimore Ravens will be able to pound the football down the Chargers' throat. And I do not believe the Chargers can withstand the assault that the Ravens will throw at them in the run game. Whether it's Edwards, Jackson, Dixon, I think whoever's running the football, they're going to have a tough time stopping it because they're just not big enough. And Ravens, they're a big team. And I know it sounds simple, but honestly, sometimes simple gets it done. I think the Ravens will be able to match up on defense because they have a strong defense in their secondary. And they're not afraid of playing on the road. The Chargers don't have a great home field, so it doesn't really scare me. I think the Ravens, in a must-win game, will take this game. I'm going to say it's going to be 24-20 Ravens in a very good, close game. Obviously, I can see the Chargers winning it. I think it comes down to Phillip Rivers making some plays that maybe Lamar Jackson can't if they're going to win the game. But I think if you see the Ravens establishing the pace of play early on through their running game, they will win this game. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. Okay. Interesting pick, but, sometimes desperate teams will do desperate things. So let's go to Sunday. The Atlanta Falcons take on the Carolina Panthers, the Cam Newton-less Carolina Panthers.
God, this game makes me sick. Oh, terrible.
Dilly,
yes.
Who are you taking in Ultra's game of the week?
I absolutely hate this game. This game, I mean, there's got to be as simple as that, right? Like, they try with Cam Newton, but it was a really weird game on Monday. I don't really know how to describe it. It was one of the weirder football games I've seen all season. And the Panthers were like, oh, here we go. Our one passing touchdown was from Christian McCaffrey. And they've just dug themselves in too much of a hole. And I think Falcons just want to play for pride against the NFC South team. So,
yeah, let's try and keep the games that don't really matter sort of brief. This game doesn't matter. The Panthers were eliminated last week, and the Atlanta Falcons have been eliminated
for weeks.
I am going to pick the Atlanta Falcons because at least they have their starting quarterback. The Baltimore Ravens do not, or sorry, the Carolina Panthers do not. Not the Baltimore Ravens. If this was the Baltimore Ravens, I'd pick them twice. The Atlanta Falcons. They're going to win this game. I know Carolina plays well at home and they'll give it a fight, but no, it's not going to happen. And honestly, because, Cam Newton is injured, wish him well. Hope he comes back next year fully healthy because that proved to be the downfall of the Panthers. I think they would have won against the Saints if he was healthy, and I think they probably would have won a couple other games if he was healthy. It's just unfortunate thing. I think he's been injured since the Pittsburgh game. That's been the rumor, but we don't 100% know for sure. And it kind of deteriorated as the season went on. But, wish Cam Newton the best, but we're both going with Atlanta. Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Then we'll get to the chat. The Battle of Ohio, Dilly Vanilli. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take those Baker Mayfield-led Brownies. I know there's still slightly, there's a chance. It's not going to happen. But they're still mathematically alive in the playoffs. But one thing I saw was that they put in a really good performance against Detroit. Their offense made a couple of mistakes, but their defense was able to stop on the last drive, make some really good plays, and finish it off with a Jabril Peppers sack, of all people. Jabril Peppers. I like what the Browns have been doing. And even though the Bengals did get a solid victory last week against the Raiders, I think the Browns are better. Browns.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Browns. I like what they've been doing on offense. They've been making it easy on Baker Mayfield, running the football, using where their money is, their offensive line. I mean, their guards, they're making a lot of money. Run the football with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's a good player. I think he's been one of the most under-the-radar running backs this season, and Baker Mayfield's putting the ball on the money when he needs to. And the defense has played better in recent weeks than they did at the beginning of the year. So they're growing as a football team, and it's nice to see, and they'll pick up another victory here. Let's go to the chat, Dylan. What are the people saying in the chat?
It's a weird chat because we got this raid going on.
Bro, what is this raid?
I don't know. It's Hot Take Hockey Raid, bro. Everybody's in there. Meme King Rob asks, "Are the Chargers for real?" I think we think they're real. I don't know about you.
Yeah, they're good. Although I don't know if anyone's real.
I don't know, but you did pick against them just a second ago.
I did pick against them, but I think the Ravens are a top 6 team in the AFC. And even though I love the Colts, I think the Ravens deserve to make the playoffs.
I agree. I just want the Chargers to win this game now, because then it would be against the mantra.
I do too, because if the Chiefs lose and the Chargers win, I have a bet before the season I made where I bet the Patriots, Steelers, Chargers, and Saints to all win their division. If I get that right, I win $1,000. So I hope they win, but I'm not picking them to win.
That's interesting. It's a bold concept, Cotton, or a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it goes.
Yes. Maybe I'm pulling a Dylan and the Cowboys, but maybe he has to change his strategy after last week's shellacking, which we'll get to in a little bit.
I think I'm going to change it this week. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Technically, it did work in my favorite picks, but we're not going to talk about that. Yep. Let's see. Deshaun's got a Baltimore victory for the against the Chargers, so there's some people thinking that way. Rob says Chargers have both the top 10 defense and offense. Let's see here. Washington wins 17-10. Josh Johnson under 100 yards passing. Well, man, that just sounds so. Both quarterbacks go for under 100.
Going to win with under 100 yards.
No, 100 yards passing.
Josh Johnson.
Are both quarterbacks going to go for under 100? That'll be so bad.
That should be a bet. There should be like a line for that.
I might actually put money on that. That's going to be so bad.
No, I say both quarterbacks go over 100 yards.
That's kind of sad that we're still questioning whether they will or not.
That's my bet.
What are your thoughts on Darius Leonard and Andrew Luck being snubbed in the Pro Bowl? Well, you got a video coming out later.
I do have a video coming out after this video. So check that out, and you might see one or both of those names in there.
And as for me, because I'm not in that video, I do not understand how either men were not nominated on the ballot. Pretty crazy to me. Blake, the Seahawks will make the playoffs. There's pretty much no way that they can't, even with the Eagles winning last week. And then a shit ton of comments from just everybody that was in here. Hot Take Hockey himself, Von Hook, who I have not seen in forever. I have not heard that man. Luca, even in here with the raid. I don't understand how that works. Let's get to a football comment, though. Hey, guys, the Bills are pretty good.
They're not that bad.
They're not bad. I wouldn't say they're good.
Tough competition for my Patriots this week.
Tough? Oh, you did make a rant about it yesterday. So
it was a positive rant, though. I don't know if you saw it, Dylan.
I did not.
It was a positive take on a rant. I ranted, but I also turned it and spinned it at the end. You would have to watch the video to know.
Okay.
So check that video out if you haven't already seen it. I rant about the Patriots and how they need to fix themselves going into the playoffs.
Lefty all around. Do you mean me or Mitch? Because he's talking about broadcasting or something. We're both trying to be broadcasters, but I don't know who he's bringing up in that discussion. Ultra's got a Chargers dub, 23-17. Let's see here. Percent chances of getting the AFC's #1 seed. I don't know how the Texans are last in this because they're the second seed. I don't really know how that works. He says the Chargers have a better chance of getting it than the Chiefs. So, be interesting.
I would say no. They don't. They don't. But I did pick the Chargers to get the #1 seed.
But then you didn't pick them to win. It's conflicting.
Yes.
Mind is conflicting.
Okay. This is how I explain it because I changed my pick. So I had the Chargers beating Baltimore in the playoff machine. So it made the Chargers number 1 seed. Which you'll see later because another pick that I make. But which we don't know. I might have changed that pick too. So we'll see. But if both lose, then the Chiefs are number 1 seed.
Okay.
And if both win, the Chiefs are number 1 seed. So therefore, the Chiefs would have a higher percentage.
And we'll talk about that Chiefs game. That's a big game this week.
The only two teams that have a percentage of getting number 1 seed are the Chiefs and the Chargers. Nobody else is going to get it.
Nobody else can possibly get it, I think. Yeah, I don't think anybody. Well, Texans mathematically have a chance, but I don't think that would happen.
They have a chance, but I don't even know if they have a chance.
It'd be very slim, I would say. Let's see. Percent chance that Ron Rivera gets fired this offseason.
45.
45. So just a little bit under the 50%.
Yeah.
I'll go with a 35. I think the Cam Newton injury cushions the blow a little bit of him getting fired.
But then I think it also, like with Cam Newton getting injured, it also shows how much they rely on Cam Newton to win. So, I don't know. Maybe this is a positive. Maybe they help their roster in the offseason.
Risley Pierre. I'm going to go with that. PPR League, Josh Allen or Phillip Rivers? Rivers is facing that tough defense. I know I said he's going to throw some big.
I have to stick with Rivers, personally.
I got to do it. Yeah. I got to stick with Rivers on this one. Will Jay Gruden get fired? Ask Rob.
He should.
At this point, he really should. I don't understand how he.
I mean, their GM should be fired before him, but Gruden should be also fired. So fire them both.
Fire them both. And then last thing is Sebastian's power rankings. We got the Saints, Chargers, Chiefs, Bears, Texans, Colts, Rams, Steelers, Patriots, Seahawks. In that order.
Colts are very high.
Colts were 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of high.
It's way too high.
Well, I think the Steelers should be ahead of the Colts, even just off the top of the head. But yeah. All right. That's it for this section of comments.
Okie dokie. Next game. Explain to me, Dylan, how the Dallas Cowboys scored donut 0. That many points against the Colts. This many.
All right. Oh, so we're talking about the Cowboys-Bucks game. So the big thing for me is that, first of all, this is the first shutout in 15 years. It's the 4th longest streak in the NFL. Sometimes you need an ass whooping to realize, hey, you're not as good as you think you are. You got to put yourself in a position of, this was a reality check. You've been on this hot streak for 5 weeks. You've been playing some good football, but also inconsistent football. And then last week, you shit the bed, not on national television, but on a stage where it really kind of mattered, would have really helped us. And the fact that Philadelphia and Washington won did not help out favors. It was a bad performance. That being said, it's all about the bounce back. It's all about preparing yourself for the next moment, and you kind of have to wash that game away with the Cowboys. Picking the Cowboys in this matchup, yeah, I know I've been picking them a lot against 5-1. It was the first loss where I picked against them, but they didn't win. But I think I got more confidence this week against the Buccaneers, who were officially eliminated. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? One or the other. I just think the Cowboys need one win. They just got to get one win, and they secure the NFC East. They don't have to worry about Week 17. I think they'll get it done here. The biggest thing is I don't think we need to worry about the defense going forward until we get to the playoff time. It's focus on making the plays necessary for the offense to work. Because, again, it's dumb penalties that help hurt us at the worst times possible, our inconsistent kicking game. And the fact that Dak, like the creativity of the offense just does not allow him to be a mobile quarterback. You saw it in 2016, and now he's not running nearly as much. And I think it stifled him because now he has to be a pocket passer, throwing these long, deep throws when I don't think he feels very comfortable with it. I think they should allow more run plays for Dak and let that be free. And the best thing he does is obviously short throws to open it up more. I think we need to focus on that in this week in particular. Set your offense up so that when you get to playoff time, probably against the Seahawks, you're going to be able to work on that against their defense, which will be very difficult. But it has to start with preparation in this game, taking the Cowboys.
I think we saw a little bit of the flaws against the Colts of what the Cowboys team is about. I think offensively, we've seen their flaws all year when you make Dak have to throw the ball more than he'd like to. And when you get a lead and they're trailing, that's obviously not their ideal situation. And I think also just when you don't give them man-to-man coverage with no safety help, like a couple of the teams have, Amari Cooper is just going to burn you and you're going to give up a big play. But against the Colts, they played a little bit more conservative in pass coverage, and they forced Dak to beat them with accuracy, and it just didn't happen. And on the other side of the ball, the Colts surprisingly ran the ball really effectively. And for a team coming up in the playoffs like the Seahawks, that's going to be a difficult matchup. But I don't think the Bucs really have that in their favor. I think the Cowboys back at home where they've played well this year are going to pick up the win and continue to roll along into the playoffs. But, you want to see them continue to get better in some of these areas of weakness. So we'll see if that does happen. So the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers. Next game, NFC North game, Vikings are continuing to try and make the playoffs. They looked really impressive last week against Miami. I called it a lock. I said it would be a blowout. And what happened?
It was 41-17, I believe.
It was a lock. It was a blowout by the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook, biggest game of the year. Dalvin Cook, the best guy with the ball in his hands on this team. Adam Thielen, where you been at? You cost me a freaking fantasy game. Stephon Diggs had a touchdown. Kirk Cousins back on his game. So I think that the Vikings are going to pick up another win here in Detroit. I just really like what the Vikings did against Detroit the first time around defensively, and they really, really rattled Matt Stafford in that game. And Detroit doesn't have the players they had then now, and they're really, really injured on the offensive side of the ball. And the Vikings, they're playing well. I think if they can continue to pick up some momentum, they're going to be a scary wild card team in the NFC playoffs because they do have a really good defense, and their offense has a lot of skill players that are scary to match up with. So if the Vikings can continue to find their run game on offense, that's going to really make their team a lot better. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. And the Lions are a stiff test in that regard. Since they've had Damon Harrison, their run defense has been good. So we'll see.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. They played a really solid game after getting embarrassed on Monday Night Football the week before. They really needed to come out here and make a big stance. And without John DeFilippo, it looked like the offense was just more open to making some bigger plays and some bigger adjustments, which helped in the long run against the Lions, who disappointed the hell out of me because of picks last week. Thank you very much. I don't think that they're going to get this victory here this week. I think the Vikings obviously really need this to help stand their number 6 seed because there's a couple of teams on the border that are looking to take that away. And Kirk Cousins, I think, really needs to get the job done like he did last week. I think he needs to continue that way. So I'm going Vikings.
Giants at the Colts. I will take the Colts because, again, I will never pick the Giants if they have Eli Manning at quarterback. And we saw last week, Eli Manning is how many years into his career? He was drafted in 2004. He's been about 14 years in his career. He still throws interceptions like he's a rookie quarterback. I mean, it's just embarrassing some of the interceptions he throws. And then his brother Peyton Manning's going to sit up there at ESPN and talk about, how great he was against the San Francisco 49ers. But, whatever. So I'm not going with the Giants because they've announced that they're probably going to keep Eli as the starting quarterback next year. So I will probably not pick the Giants for another 2 years on this channel. You can hold me to that. I will go with the Indianapolis Colts. I love the way they're playing on both sides of the ball, and they're tough to stop, and I think they're a dangerous team.
Uh,
Oh, Dylan. Dylan.
in
Oh,
general.
there you are.
They have a quarterback that does not know how to play football at any age at this point, and you have the star potential of Saquon and Odell, and you fucking waste them. That's why I absolutely hate Eli Manning with a passion. So yeah, I'm not gonna pick them. I'm gonna pick the Colts. Are you kidding me?
Okay. What else here? We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, not number one.
They were really the Miami Dolphins last week. They really were.
Yeah, they were. They were back to their normal selves. As I predicted, again, the Dolphins will win this game, though, because the Jaguars are absolute, utter trash. Tom Coughlin is considering coming back from being whatever he is right now to being the head coach of the team. So that's sad. Also, Jalen Ramsey put it best. I only care about myself.
Which is the worst team thing to hear when it comes to a player. That's the worst thing to hear. The Dolphins are 10-5 at home in the last 2 years and 3-12 away. So they're awful away, but they're at home this week. Dolphins.
And they'll somehow win the game off like a reverse handoff, throw back to the opposite side of the field, end around, fumble, pick it up and run around for 20 seconds, throw it backwards, flea flicker play. I don't know what they're going to do. They'll win it somehow. Frank Gore's out for the year, though. Sad for him. Dolphins still trying to make the playoffs. Don't think they will, but they'll win this game.
They will not make the playoffs.
Buffalo Bills, the team that's destroying Dylan's record as we know it, takes on the New England Patriots in New England. And the New England Patriots, I ranted about them, so I'm not going to rant about them again today. But the New England Patriots will win this game because they're at home, and they don't lose at home this year, but they only lose on the road because they're 3-5 on the road. I don't know why, but they are. They're 5-0 at home, or 6-0 at home?
6-0.
6-0 at home. 6-0 at home, and they will win another one at home, make it 7-0, and they will continue to push for the second seed. They hope for a Texans loss.
Oh God, just their road record. God almighty. But they're not playing on the road. And, Josh Allen will run a lot.
He probably will get 100 yards.
I'm thinking he might. He will try his best. His offensive line, can they help him? I don't know. Maybe they need to send Kelvin Benjamin back as an offensive lineman. That would really help them out. But I'm going Patriots. It's plain and simple. I was a little disappointed by how they played last week, but again, the Steelers and the Bills are two different teams. I will also say this: the Patriots secondary gave Josh Allen a great compliment by saying he can throw it from anywhere, and they have to be aware of that. And they basically said that he could throw a 70-yard bomb from the sideline. So. I want to see, because we've seen a lot of Bills quarterbacks, a lot of Jets quarterbacks, a lot of Dolphins quarterbacks. I've seen a lot of them over the past 10 to 15 years as a fan of the Patriots, and not many of them have played well in December in New England. And I know this New England team isn't as good as they were, the last 4 years, but they're still tough to beat there, and they're still, it's tough to play there. So we'll see what Josh Allen can do and what he can do with the talent at his disposal in this game. I'm just going to be looking at Josh Allen, kind of evaluating him from that standpoint and comparing him to some of these quarterbacks of the past that have been highly drafted on other teams. So we'll see. Let's go to the chat, Dylan. What are they saying? The chat. Let's scroll back up to here where I had it. Ultra's power rankings this week. Falcons. Saints, Chargers, Bears, Chiefs, Texans, Rams, Patriots, Steelers, Colts, Ravens. In that order. It's an interesting list. Honestly, I don't know where to put the Rams. I've seen two really shitty games, and I don't know
that's hard.
It is a very.
I don't know where to put the entire league right now.
I know 1 and 2. I think I'm pretty
back
sure
on
about.
my Dylan. I'm back on my no one's good rant.
No, of course. No one
Honestly,
can.
bro,
Nobody give it.
who
No, listen. First of all, the Bears are probably the hottest team in football right now. Let's
who
be
is
honest.
good?
The Bears are probably the goodest team in football.
The
Right
goodest team in football is the Chicago Bears.
now. Yeah, they're probably the most consistent. The Saints are the best, but they've also had their slack of games lately. Chargers, they're probably the goodest, second goodest in the
Oh
game.
no, I'm on my no one's good rant.
All right.
I'm sticking by no one's good.
And we're on a football channel.
And that's why as a Cowboys fan, as a Patriots fan, as a Chargers fan, as a Saints fan, as anybody in the playoffs, you should be happy that no one's good. Because you got a chance.
Because you got a chance. Well, we'll see.
There is no clear-cut favorite team in the NFL. Anybody can win.
Well, except if you're the Dolphins. But, you never know.
And Kevin Durant isn't even in here and you're taking shots.
He was in here a minute ago. I guess he left. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't see it.
He takes shots at my team, so, I'm going to have to fire back at him, Let's see.
Do you want to talk about two more teams that aren't good? Or do you want to continue with the comments?
Let me get through a little bit more here, and then I got you. If there's any more here. Ultra says the Vikings are making the playoffs. You think the Eagles are making the playoffs, Ultra? Let's hope not. But
I don't think so. I think they might win their last 2 games, but I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, even if they do that.
Okay.
If the Vikings lose next week, because they likely won't lose this week, and the Eagles win out, the Eagles make the playoffs.
Excuse me, interesting. I forgot who the Eagles to. Who do they play week 17?
They play the Texans this week. They play the Giants next week. I think Giants.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about that Texans one. Colts are going to put up a 50 burger. Bodo says in their game against the Giants, 50-17. That sounds horrific. Dolphins 27-3 victory over the Jags, says Rob. Wow. Nick giving us a compliment. He says, "Great channel, Mitch in particular." Okay, thanks. I just always see Seaman Toon when you're hosting, and the content is just super entertaining and helpful. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that.
I will go to bed just a little sopping, but I appreciate it. It's the channel, it's the channel that counts. The GOAT Tom Brady's in the chat. Says anyone.
Yeah, everybody's marking out. Tom Brady's in there.
Anyone can win it every year. He's always very.
Come on, Tom. You know that's not true. Have you not seen the 2009 Bill Belichick documentary where he says, "I can get this team to play the way I want"? And then following that, we have Tom Brady saying we're going to get our ass kicked. And that's what happened.
That was a good video you sent me. He's like, "I just can't get this team to win. I just can't get them to win." I'm like, wait, they filmed him for like 90 seconds on the field talking to each other. And I'm like, oh, God, like, what's going on?
Tom, barely says anything in that clip, too.
He's like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
absolutely right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's solid. All right, that's the end of the chat for now.
If you've also never seen that documentary, to anyone who likes football, watch it. It's really insightful, really good. All right. Go Packers at Jets. 2 more teams that aren't good and 2 more teams that don't have any playoff implications. The Jets are going to win.
Wow. They're going to win.
I don't even think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. If
he
Rodgers
says today he confirmed he's
playing.
He confirmed he's playing. Yes.
Okay, I don't care. I'm picking the Jets anyways. Go Jets. Packers, you're disgusting. I don't like you right now.
Disgust.
You disgust me.
That's a dillyism.
You disgust me, Packers. I'm going with the Jets.
Can I pick neither? Can we have an option for neither? I'm gonna pick the Packers. Because when I picked against them when they were playing the Falcons, they won for some reason. So I'm going to pick the Packers. Good on Jamal Adams for getting Pro Bowl, though. You know, he's continuing. He says he wants to get every Pro Bowl for the rest of his career. So, you know, good start.
Oh, yeah, he's been great this year especially. I think he's been arguably the best in the league this year. So we'll see him going forward. Texans at Eagles. Dylan, you said you wanted to talk about it. We'll let the people hear it. Who are you picking?
I'm definitely picking the Texans in this game. Now, I got to be honest with you. I was watching the Sunday Night Football game.
Dylan?
Okay, am I on? Okay, I'm back.
You were
okay,
frozen.
like,
I think I might have been frozen on your screen. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you were.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I watched the game last week. Kevole and I were recapping it. It was a very interesting game for the Eagles side. They were able to – Nick Foles led the Eagles. They just had some leadership on there. You know, they were really trying hard. They made the right plays. They made Jared Goff feel uncomfortable. They really locked down on Aaron Donald, which was the key. They double-teamed, not giving him stats, but if you're going to take down a guy like Aaron Donald, I think that's the way to go. I don't think Nick Foles got sacked once in that game. And overall, they just did a good job of being leaders throughout it. It was their best overall performance all year, I think. That being said, I think the Texans, you said it was going to be a close game against the Jets, and it was. But they needed to get this victory, a scrappy victory, really show their test, affordable. No, I'm not going to use that word. Show their strength mentally to get that kind of win and get the comeback drive with 2 minutes left. It was a good drive. It was a great game. DeAndre Hopkins absolutely tearing it up, and he's going to have another great performance against the Eagles secondary. I think that's going to be the key, and I just think the Texans are stronger. So, Texans.
I am going with the Philadelphia Fly Eagles Fly.
Hold on.
Victory. Fight. Fly Eagles.
Pause this real quick. First of all, this is weird to me. Second, is this because you just want the Patriots to get the 2 seed?
No, this honestly, I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
All right, let me hear it.
Okay. So I'll start off with this statistic. The Houston Football Organization has played the Eagles, I think it's 17 times, and they have never won.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So they played the Oilers 11. The Oilers and the Eagles have played 11 times, and they lost every game. And the Eagles and the Texans have played 7 times or 6 times, and the Eagles won every game. I'll start with that. Second really thing, sad. Texans are a lot better at home, and just like the Patriots, they're not that good on the road. Eagles, good at home. Nick Foles has ignited this team once again. I don't know what it is. It just seems like this team plays better and harder. Like, not necessarily better, but harder with Nick Foles. And the coaching, the offense, the scheme was a lot better against the Rams. It was kind of hard. I don't know why they weren't calling those plays with Carson Wentz, but their play calling was a lot better against the Rams, and their offense was a lot more creative. I do think the Eagles will struggle to run the ball, but I do think Nick Foles can make some plays. Where I really think the Eagles are going to win this game is with their defensive line against the Texans' offensive line, putting pressure on Deshaun Watson. I think Hopkins will have a good game, like you said, but I think that the Eagles up front will win this game and win this game in a tight defensive battle at home, win a must-win game.
So you said you don't think the Eagles are going to make the playoffs?
I don't, because I think the Vikings will win out.
You think they'll beat the Bears week 17?
I think so, but I could be wrong. We'll see next week when we predict it. I think that the Vikings do have a good chance of winning that game, especially if the Bears sit their players.
The only reason if the Bears sit their players, yes. The reason I'm not sure is because they still have a chance at second seed. That's why I'm really
that's why we have to wait until next week.
Okay. I'm just curious. It's interesting.
Eagles could definitely make it, though.
Really good. They have a chance.
I think the Eagles would be a tougher matchup for the Bears than the Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Maybe. You'll see the toughest playoff matchups tomorrow on my video. Everybody, just letting you know.
All right.
Keep it.
The LA Rams, a team that everybody has not been in love with lately. They just got destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody's hating on them, dilly vanilly. Now they go to the worst team in football, Arizona Cardinals. Will they finally get back on track in this game?
They will, but I'm going to be looking at individual performances, okay? Todd Gurley had 10 catches last week. Thank you, PPR. You were a nightmare last week. Pretty much cost me my chance to win the BLV championship. But Jared Goff, man, he has been atrocious. I mean, just terrible over the last 3 weeks, especially the last 2 weeks in particular. 0 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That one interception, Mitch, I hope you've seen it, where he was getting sacked and he just threw it to the left side over his helmet and it was intercepted. The worst turnover I've seen all year. The worst turnover I've seen all year.
Where's that guy that kept saying I'm a hater of Jared Goff?
Kev doesn't show up at the prominent times. He really doesn't. but he'll come on and say that Seahawks have a chance. He wants to fight, though. He wants to beat the Rams. I want to see the Jared Goff performance, okay? I know it's the Cardinals. I know they're the worst football team in the NFL. They're not very good. They're looking for that number 1 spot. They've almost clinched it. But I just want to see him get back on track and have a really good game because otherwise this team is screwed. I know Todd Gurley's the backbone of this team, but Jared Goff has to play at least decent in order for them to win football games. And the last 3 weeks have not cut it. He has to win.
Okay. I am going with the LA Rams as well, just because the Cardinals are so bad. This is more of a Cardinals are bad pick than it is a Rams are good pick. I think the biggest problem, and I brought this up in the chat, I think Matt Patricia and what he did with the Lions against the Rams deserves a lot of credit for carrying over in these last few matchups, because we've seen that the Lions pretty much said, okay, we know you're bluffing. We know that you love the play action, Sean McVay. So we're going to play pass defense, but we're going to stick our big fuckers in the middle of the defense. Damon Harrison, he's going to sit right there, and we're going to eat the run-up with our big fuckers. And then we're going to let our corners stop the pass, as you're laughing when I keep saying big fuckers. The LA Rams, I think people are starting to figure out their offense, figure out Jared Goff, and that's what's happening to them right now. We know their defense hasn't been good, and it continues to not be good. This week, I think that the Rams will turn it around because the Cardinals, like I said, are not good. But the Rams, I think this victory will be kind of a mirage.
Mirage. Okay. I'm looking for individual performers. That's what I'm looking for.
The Chicago Bears take on the upset team, the San Francisco 49ers. Will the 49ers add another upset to their list of upsets, or will they lose?
Or will they lose? Nicholas, that man deserves a lot of credit. He's going to get some offers to be a backup quarterback somewhere once Jimmy G comes back next season. Good for him. He deserves an opportunity in this league. That being said, they will not complete an upset here. It's the Bears. The Bears are still looking for the number 2 seed in the NFC, which would give them home field advantage besides, the number 1 seed. And they really, they're not going to play as hard as you would want, but they're going to get a dub. Their defense is great. It's really, really good. And against the 49ers, who I like, they're just a scrappy team that gets nice victories. They're not going to be able to do it in this game against the Bears. Bears win.
Okay. My only question for this game is I picked the Bears. My question for this game is, will Kyle Shanahan crack the code like he did the Jaguars last year? That's my question. Because he did it against the Seahawks last week. George Kittle was running wide open for touchdowns.
This one's gonna be much harder for me.
It's gonna be much harder. He doesn't have much, but just watch the game and look out for that. Will Kyle Shanahan give some teams a little bit of thoughts going into the playoffs for how to attack the Bears. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to. But I'm picking the Bears. Okay. Steelers at the Saints. This could be the game of the week. Dilly Vanilli. Who are you going with here? The Steelers, fresh off a huge victory against the New England Patriots, who they haven't beat since I was a little baby. And the Saints, who are the best team, I guess. I don't know.
Well, first of all, the Steelers beat the Patriots in 2011, so I hope you were not a baby. That was a win. This is tough. I'm going to do it. I'm going with the Steelers to take the upset win against the Saints. A couple weeks ago, I might be hypocritical. I said they could have lost, but they should lose both games against the Patriots and the Steelers. Last week showed me that they have this opportunity. They played really good on defense. They were able to limit the passes of Brady. They made some really good decisions. And overall, they just played like a full team. Now, also last week, I said it could be a fluke game because you know what the Steelers are going to do. They're going to scout the Patriots like crazy for 15 weeks and then get into that game and then win the game because that's all they've been doing for 15 weeks. So I don't know if all of their if they're just going to be tired.
I would just say they didn't scout Chris Hogan on the first play.
That was a terrible play. But that's true. But to be fair, they did not let the Patriots get on to score a touchdown after the third play on offense. So, they did something right after that point. I think this is a big game for both teams. Really shows me who's strong and who's not. That Saints win was just so freaking strange to me. And I don't know what's going on here with the Saints. I still think they're going to do very well. But this matchup, I think, is going to be a one.
So you're picking the Steelers.
That we're going to look at. I'm picking the Steelers. I am picking the Steelers in this.
I'm going with the Saints, and the biggest reason is because they're at home. I don't pick against the Saints at home.
It's because they're home.
Honestly, I don't pick against the Saints at home. I think this game will be a shootout. I do think the Saints offense will get back on track a little bit. And I think the Steelers will be able to move the ball. The biggest thing for the Saints defense, they've played really well lately, but I think they've played really well because of their defensive line. I do think that the Saints can eat up the run game of the Steelers, but they're going to have a lot more trouble than the Patriots did covering their receivers because the Saints don't have the corners the Patriots do, but they have a better front. So I think that the Steelers will be able to pass the ball. So Big Ben will have a nice game. Drew Brees will have a nice game. It will be a nice battle between two quarterbacks, but I'm going with the Saints at home. I just can't pick against them there. Okay. Chiefs at Seahawks. This one's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think I was convincing Kev to do a stream on this one, Sunday Night Football. So,
ooh.
Yeah.
All right, Dylan, who are you picking?
This is tough, man. This is tough. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this game. Last week was an interesting perspective for both teams. Both teams lost. The Chiefs, we've seen this all year, but those last two drives just showed me they have no fucking defense. It is the worst thing I've seen, except their defensive line. Their defensive line is good. Chris Jones is, what's the word? I even forgot my own word from a couple weeks ago when I made it.
D-U-N-E?
No, he's not D-U-N-E. He's solid. Chris Jones is solid, guys.
Oh, sorry. I forgot what the joke was. Never mind.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Chris Jones is solid, guys. He has 14 sacks. He's solid. By the way, Chris Jones is on the snub video. By the way.
Yes, and he definitely was snubbed in that. But he is solid, guys. If you guys don't get the joke, please do not flame me. It is a joke from a couple of weeks ago. Their defensive line is pretty good, but their secondary, led by Orlando Scandrick, is fucking atrocious. And I think that Russell Wilson, if he can get a guy like Tyler Lockett open like that, you're done. You're absolutely done. So I hope Andy Reid scouts that and realizes that Russell Wilson has a
Fuller's hurt too, right?
Yeah, Fuller is hurt. I think he might play, but
so they get Eric. No, I think he's done for like 4 weeks because I think he broke his wrist. I could be wrong, but I think he did.
Jesus Christ. Well, at least they have Eric Berry.
Yeah, they got. That's what I was going to say. They got back Eric Berry at safety, but they lost their best corner, so doesn't.
So if Tyler Lockett is matched up with Orlando Scandrick, Tyler Lockett will have 250 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. That's not true, but still, like Russell Wilson has a perfect passer rating to him this season, so why not take those shots against him? It's going to be a fun matchup. I really am looking forward to it. I just was kind of upset with how the Seahawks game went. I know it's a divisional rival, but I'm like, this is a solid, easy dub for them. And going into that matchup, and I just was like coming out of it pretty disappointed, even though there were some good players in that game. And the Chiefs, I was disappointed with their last 5 minutes, but I still think Patrick Mahomes is going to get the job done on a crucial Sunday. So going with the Chiefs.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to play. He has a broken thumb? I thought it was a wrist. I guess it's a
or he's playing, so
it says hand. I guess it is a thumb. I guess you can play with a broken thumb in football, but it's not going to be easy.
It's not it's not something I would love to play with, but you can play with it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go. You took the Chiefs?
I took the Chiefs.
I'm going to go with the team I picked like 3 weeks ago. I'm sticking by it. I'm going with the Seahawks. Yes.
Man, a lot of differences this week. We didn't have a
lot of upsets for me. That's why.
Yeah,
I think this is upset special week. I think the Seahawks in Seattle, they're going to run the ball, run the ball, hand it off fake. Tyler Lockett, 50 yards. I think this is going to be the game, man. I think Seahawks are pissed after they lost the 49ers. I think their defense is going to be fiery at home. Those fans are going to be freaking insane. And the Chiefs, I think they're going to take an L here, man. I've been feeling it for a few weeks. I think this is a game where they just take an L.
They took it out last week, so.
Yes, it's good. I think after this game, people are going to be like, oh, no, the Chiefs are good. They lost 2 in a row. But really, they lost the Chargers and they lost to the Seahawks on the road. Those are 2 tough games. I'm not saying the Chiefs, I'm going to claim them to be bad or anything after this week. I just think this is going to be a tough game for them. Tough matchup.
It'll be an interesting matchup. I'm looking forward to it. My biggest concern is Tyler Lockett. Orlando Scandrick, get fucking prepared. Like, honestly, it's going to be terrible. But we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, last game that nobody cares about. Broncos at Raiders.
Oh, God. Who decided this was a game even before the season? Broncos. Raiders are still looking for a top 5 pick.
Raiders.
What? How many differences are going to have this week?
I don't know why. I just want to pick the Raiders.
You just want to pick the Raiders? That could cost you.
They're on Monday Night Football at home. Why not?
Why not? 2 bad teams.
It's not like the Broncos are playing good.
No, but I mean, not much to defend with that. But still, I mean, I think they're better than the Raiders. I think the Raiders need to get their heads out of their asses and realize they still want to get the number 1 pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Raiders.
Eh.
Just win, baby.
I still don't get why. I wish we could just take that game away from Monday Night Football. I know they're not allowed to, but
I don't know why it's on Monday Night, but they should totally change that. They should I don't know. They have flex games, but they should have just flexed it 2 weeks ago so that the teams have preparation, so they have no excuses.
Yeah,
you knew this game wasn't going to be relevant even 2 weeks ago.
No, and this is the last Monday Night Football game of the year. What a disappointing way to go out.
Yeah.
So sad.
Well, yeah, the same way that the commentary team's been disappointing.
That's true. No, but my boy Booger. I mean, you gotta love Booger.
That's your boy, I guess.
He's been blocking 5 sections of the football stand. So I mean, you know, I feel bad if you're like, all right, I'm excited for the game.
Yeah, and you're watching the screen and it's way behind.
But imagine you don't even know he's there. So then you go to the seats and you're like,
yeah,
fuck.
Exactly.
I gotta watch this guy, and I can't even watch the game. God damn it! And then he's talking about some shit that isn't even relevant to the game. Disappointing. I like him, but I would hate that experience.
Dylan, fill us in with the comments, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, the comments. One last time, if you got anything to say before we head out, put it in there, and I'll read them. Let's see where the last point I got to was. Let's go with this. Sebastian's got a 20-10 victory for the Jets over the Packers this week, but Ultra's got a 21-17 win for the Packers. Deshaun's got a 23-17 victory for the Packers. Eagles victory for Ultra, 29-27.
Yeah, Ultra.
In your boat. This is a lot different from last week. We had one different. I think we have 6 different this week. So
huge week, and I'm picking way too many underdogs. I don't feel good about this.
I hope it goes my way. One of us has to get 4 right in order to feel, good about it. So 4 of the 6. Let's see, 32-21 Texans victory for Deshaun. Let's see, Eagles need to lose. Actually, no, Deshaun. The Cowboys just have to win, and they clinch the division. Doesn't matter if the Eagles win. Also, Durkant's picking the Steelers. What? He never picks the Steelers.
He hates the Steelers.
He hates the Steelers. He was talking about they were going to lose to the Raiders, and he was right. But he picked that. Like, I can't believe he's going to pick against the Saints. Interesting. Rom with a 20-17 victory for the Texans. What happened to the Rams? Mr. Jared Goff showed up to the Rams.
They're trash.
He was replaced with a good body for 12 weeks, and then somebody else the real Jared Goff jumped back into his body, and that's what happened. Durkant's got a Rams loss to Arizona, so good luck with that. Let's see. Bodo's mad because Durkant's picking his team, and I'm picking his team, which almost never happens. Bears win. A lot of people picking the Bears, of course. But Ryan says the Bears are going to lose their first playoff game, which I have not heard that one this time around. What games are we streaming Sunday?
That's a good question.
I brought up to Kevole about the Chiefs Seahawks.
Seahawks, I would love to stream. Is that Sunday night?
Sunday night.
Okay. If I'm not even if I am with my friends, I'll still stream it. They'll just be in the video.
They'll just be in the video.
Saturday, Baltimore Chargers would be good, but I might also be with my friends. Pittsburgh, New Orleans, I for sure would do.
Yeah, I like to do that one too.
We could do a morning one too if you want, if you're open.
Damn, all 3? Okay, no. Well, Cowboys Bucks is going to be on.
Houston
12.
Eagles would be good.
Or is that
we could skip the morning if you want. We could just do Pittsburgh, New Orleans, at Kansas City, Seattle.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, sounds good then.
There you go. There's our announcement. Steelers.
We just decided that. That's going behind the scenes on the bottom line view.
It only takes a few seconds, but we get it done there for you guys. Deshaun with a 38-31 victory for New Schmorlands. Let's see here. Sebastian's got a 27-24 victory for the Sea Chickens. And so does Rob with a 24-21 victory for the Sea Chickens. Why is everybody picking the Sea Chickens? What is wrong with you? What happened, broskies?
Go Sea Chickens.
The Sea Chickens. I like the Sea Chickens. They're
Sea Chickens.
It was just a weird game last week. I don't understand. Seahawks will have a tough time at home, but the Chiefs will score quickly on them. You can't run if you're behind 3 scores. He thinks it's going to be a 3-score difference. Oh, my goodness. I don't agree there either. But
he's drunk.
If the Colts win this – wait, how does this work? If the Colts win this Sunday, they're DUNE? How does that work? So you want them to lose? I don't know. What?
Reverse psychology?
Oh, sorry. Oh, no, he messed it up. He said the Dolphins are done if the Colts win. Okay, he put it in the next. I was like, wait. This is some weird. I don't understand how this goes. Corey says it's a bad matchup for Seattle. They run a cover 3 defense. Mahomes has 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions against teams that primarily run cover 3.
Sorry, what did you say?
This is a comment from Corey. He said it's a bad matchup for Seattle because they run a cover 3 defense. And Mahomes has 11 touchdowns and 0 picks against teams that primarily run cover 3.
Okay, how many teams have the Chiefs stopped who can run the ball?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Think about the games that they've lost or been close in.
So the losses were the Patriots, the Steelers, the Rams, or not Steelers, Saints.
Chargers.
Patriots, Rams, the Chargers, and who was the fourth loss that they had? Or no,
they have 3, but they almost lost the Ravens.
They almost lost to the Ravens.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Chiefs. I think the Seahawks are a tough matchup offensively. I think the Seahawks will have an easier time on offense.
I think if Russell Wilson is able to get through that defensive line, they're going to have a whole lot of trouble. The Chiefs are going to have a whole lot of trouble.
Because Russell Wilson can make magic.
Yeah.
I know Mahomes can, but if anybody can match Mahomes, it's Russell Wilson. In terms of magic.
Like this. Touchdown.
Russell Wilson once converted a 2-point conversion where he ran in a circle and then turned around and threw it across his body to a tight end in the NFC Championship game.
I remember that exactly. But also slip and fall and throw a terrible interception like he did against the Vikings.
True.
You don't want those mistakes to happen. Can't have that happen.
I don't know, bro.
Leave it to Dilly to love Booger. Booger's just got a charm, man. He's not great, but he's got a charm. I just like people that have energy. You know what I'm saying? This is why I've always liked.
You're wrong because I was right about that debate. They ended up losing to the Chargers.
I'm what?
And I still don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. So how about that?
What, the Chiefs?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, Chiefs fans.
We're doing a video in 2 weeks to get. You can't tell everybody this.
When's the playoff video coming out again?
The day after the season ends, December 31st, guys.
I'm gonna try and beat you this year.
No.
Let's see that we're gonna have a competition.
I'm getting up super early then.
All right.
8:30.
What else? Okay, follow us on Twitter at Mitch Milani. Is it the Dilly Vanilli? I always forget now.
The Dilly Vanilli. You made it.
I made it. At the Dilly Vanilli on Twitter. At Mitch Milani on Twitter. Milani. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends to subscribe. We're just getting into the meat and potatoes of the NFL season. The playoffs, baby. It's coming soon. Very soon. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have recaps after every game. It's going to be lit in the chat. Kevole's going to be having hot takes. Dilly Vanilli is going to be losing his mind over Cowboys games. And I'm probably going to be screaming or arguing with everybody in the chat. So you should probably check that out. And we're going to have some fun over the course of December and January. So, yeah, definitely check it out, guys. And tell your friends, share this video, and like the video. Gronk spike it. We'll see you next time. We are the Bottom Line View, Mitch and Dilly Vanilli. Deuces.
Peace.